Good evening and welcome to the real world. Normally we don't do these clips midweek, but sometimes you hear something like in the news organizations, they have stopped the presses and breaking news. Sometimes you hear something that's so inspiring. It's not just the Kiddush Hashem. It's important for us to know that we live in the world, we breathe the same air, and sometimes we're even in the same room of such Yidden. It's important for us to know. Chashva Rav in the tri-state area was dealing with a couple with the Shalom Bayis issue last week, and he felt that they could be helped. And he suggested that the husband go speak to Gadol Yisroel. So he thought that the husband should go speak to Shmuel Kamenetzky, Shleit to the Philadelphia Rosh Yeshiva. And he called up and he made an appointment. And he was given an appointment for this man for this past Sunday. Sunday at 5 p.m. in Philadelphia, the appointment was set up. And the husband, who was meant to meet Reb Shmuel, drove this Sunday to Philadelphia. And he got there 5 p.m. on time. Comes to the house, the Shiva welcomes him. He says, "Yeah, we're meeting now. Can I ask you a taiva?" Reb Shmuel says, "Do you mind if we talk in the car? I have to visit somebody in the hospital. And if it's possible, if we could conduct our conversation in the car rather than at home, would that be a problem for you?" So the visitor says, "No, that's fine. I'm happy to drive to Rosh Yeshiva." So he says, "Great." And they go into the car and they have the conversation on the way to the hospital. When they reach the hospital, Reb Shmuel says, "I have to go in and visit somebody. And if you don't mind waiting, I'm happy. We could continue the conversation when I come back." Sure. Shmuel comes back an hour later. And he says, I apologize. It took me so long. I was saying goodbye to my wife. And then Shmuel stops and says, "Now that my Chi of Shalom Bayis is ending, yours is the beginning. Let's talk about you." That's the story I heard and confirmed. The Kamenetzky says in this week's parsha that what's the big deal, the big asik of Moshe Rabbeinu and Klal Yisrael splitting the sea, splitting the Yam Suf. We find in the Gemara that Tanam Pinchas ben Yair was able to split a sea. So the Kamenetzky says to split the sea after Matan Torah is no big deal, so to speak. Klapi Moshe Rabbeinu, it's doable because the Torah gives a person to rise above nature. It gives a person extraordinary supernatural kaiches. Moshe Rabbeinu was able to split the sea before the Yam Suf, before Kriyas Yam Suf, before Matan Torah. The Torah makes a big asik out of it. After Matan Torah, when a person has a kaich of Torah, it's important for us to realize, to tell ourselves and to tell our children, the Torah gives a person, a yid who's harving and learning for 80 years, 85 years, Kanai Harish, because on the Stark of Shmuel, has that ability to rise above every single natural barrier, challenge, and hurdle possible, and live in a world of, like what the Chazon Ish says, malachim b'demus anashim, angels in the guise of men. You should be gesund and stark, and we should have simchas.